My name is Santa Claus, and the North Pole has been my home for as long as winter has carried stories across the snow. I have traveled the world many times, but one journey stands out in my heart, the journey I shared with a quiet, gentle polar bear named Nico. Nico lived near the frozen sea, not far from my workshop. He was large and strong, yet calm and thoughtful, with eyes that reflected the pale blue sky. Every morning, I would see his footprints crossing the snow near the edge of the ice. One day, as I walked out to greet the rising sun, I noticed him waiting patiently. "Good morning, Santa," he said softly. "May I travel with you today?" I smiled. Christmas was near, and the world beyond the North Pole was calling. "Of course," I replied. "Every journey is better with a friend." That morning, we set out together, not in my sleigh, but on foot, following the frozen paths shaped by wind and time. The Arctic stretched endlessly around us, quiet and white. Tenno sparkled beneath the pale sunlight, and the air felt clean and still. Nico walked beside me, his heavy steps steady and confident, as if the land itself trusted him. As we traveled, we passed frozen rivers and towering ice hills, shaped like ancient castles. The wind whispered softly, carrying stories of faraway lands. I told Nico about the children I would visit soon, about laughter, lights, and warm homes waiting for Christmas morning. Nico listened carefully. "I have never seen the world beyond the ice," he said, "but I want to understand it." Before long, clouds gathered, and snow began to fall. The storm grew stronger, and the sky turned white. I could barely see ahead. Nico stopped and looked at me calmly. "Follow me," he said. "I know where the land is safe." He led us to a sheltered ice cave where the wind could not reach us. Inside, everything was quiet, except for our breathing. I realized then how important it is to trust others, even when you are used to leading the way. When the storm passed, the sky cleared, revealing a sky filled with stars. They shone brighter than ever, reflected in the endless ice. Nico looked up and whispered, "The world feels peaceful tonight." "Yes," I replied. "This is the heart of winter." The next day, we reached the edge of the sea. Ice floated gently on dark water, moving slowly like silent dancers. Seals rested nearby, and distant whales breathed clouds of mist into the cold air. Nico paused, listening to the ocean. "The sea reminds me that everything moves," he said. "Even ice." We continued our journey by sleigh that evening. I welcomed Nico aboard, and the reindeer greeted him with curious snorts and jingling bells. As we lifted into the sky, Nico held on tightly, eyes wide with wonder. Below us, the Arctic faded into a silver blanket. We traveled southward over snowy villages and quiet forests. Lights glowed in windows, and Christmas trees sparkled with color. Nico watched closely. "So many warm places," he said softly. "So many lives." We stopped briefly in a small northern village. While I delivered gifts, Nico waited outside, watching snow fall on rooftops. When I returned, I noticed something different. He was smiling. "I see now," he said. "Your journey is not just about gifts, it's about connection." As dawn approached, we turned back toward the North Pole. The sky slowly filled with color, soft pink and gold spreading across the horizon. The reindeer flew gently, tired but happy. Nico sat quietly, thoughtful. When we landed, the workshop lights welcomed us home. Elves waved cheerfully, and warm laughter filled the air. Nico stepped down into the snow, looking around with calm eyes. "Thank you, Santa," he said. "I will always remember this journey, and I will remember that even the quietest companions can carry great wisdom." I replied as Nico walked back toward the frozen sea. I watched his figure fade into the white landscape. The North Pole felt warmer, somehow, not from fire or light, but from friendship. That night, as I prepared for Christmas, I thought about the journey we shared. Winter can be cold and silent, but it can also bring unexpected connections. Sometimes, the greatest adventures are not about how far you travel, but about who walks beside you, and somewhere out on the ice. I knew a white bear carried the story of our journey in his heart, just as I carried it in mine.